I never thought I'd find myself in this position, literally and emotionally. My name is Emily. I'm 32, a graphic designer living in Seattle. I've always believed in love, but never expected it to get so tangled. I married my college sweetheart, Daniel, when I was 25. Daniel is gentle, dependable, and always made me feel safe. Our marriage was built on trust, or so I thought. But after a few years, something shifted. We drifted into a routine, like a favorite sweater you wear too often. It's warm, but loses its charm. 2 years ago, I met Leo at a design conference in Portland. Leo was magnetic from the start. He was confident, playful, and spontaneous in all the ways Daniel wasn't. We kept bumping into each other during workshops and shared long, silly conversations over coffee. That weekend, I felt alive again. I never meant for it to turn into something more, but one thing led to another. I fell in love with Leo, too. At first, I tried to keep things separate. I told myself Leo was just a spark I needed to reignite my own passion, but every text, every secret meeting made me feel both thrilled and guilty. I hated myself for betraying Daniel, but I couldn't walk away from Leo either. I knew I was living on borrowed time. The weight of my double life pressed on my chest every night, and I knew eventually I had to choose, or come clean. Then, one rainy evening, my life turned upside down. Daniel came home early from work. I had invited Leo over to talk about our future. I needed to figure out where we stood before things went too far. I thought we had a few quiet hours alone. But when Daniel stepped into the bedroom, he froze. Leo stood there, his jacket half off, eyes wide with shock. The room fell silent. I wanted to scream, to run, to dissolve into thin air. But something unexpected happened. Daniel didn't shout. He didn't storm out. Instead, he shut the door slowly and looked at me with eyes I hadn't seen in years, raw, open, almost curious. "Emily," he said, his voice trembling. "Is this what you want? Is this what makes you happy?" I burst into tears. I fell to the floor, confessing everything, every secret text, every weekend trip, every little lie. I told them both how I felt torn between comfort and passion, between the man who built my life with me and the man who awakened my spirit. There was a long pause. Daniel sat beside me and held my hand, his thumb brushing my knuckles like he used to. Leo stood, his breathing heavy, but his eyes soft. He reached out and took my other hand. We sat there in a strange triangle of warmth and confusion. The storm outside rattled the windows, but inside, something fragile and new began to form. Daniel finally spoke. "I don't want to lose you, Emily. But I also don't want you to keep living a lie. Maybe there's a way we can understand each other better." Leo squeezed my hand. "I don't want to tear your life apart. I just want you to be happy. I've fallen in love with you, but I don't want to force you to choose me or him." It was surreal. Two men who could have hated each other, who could have destroyed me with their anger, were sitting calmly beside me. The tension slowly turned into an odd tenderness. We started talking, honestly and vulnerably, about love, needs, and trust. We talked late into the night, about desires I had been too ashamed to voice, about fears they had both carried silently. There were tears, awkward silences, sudden laughter, and gentle touches that surprised all of us. At some point, we lay back on the bed together. I was in the middle, feeling both their heartbeats through my fingertips. For the first time in years, I felt completely seen, completely accepted. Daniel brushed a strand of hair from my face, his lips soft against my forehead. Leo traced light circles on my palm, his warmth a quiet promise. It wasn't about choosing one over the other anymore. It was about finding a new way forward. We didn't have all the answers that night. We knew society might never understand, that our families would be shocked, that maybe we'd fail. But for that moment, under the soft glow of the bedside lamp and the rhythmic drumming of rain, we had each other. We drifted into sleep, tangled together, breaths matching like an unspoken melody. In the morning, we'd face the world and all its questions. But that night, my bedroom wasn't a battlefield of betrayal. It was a sanctuary, a place where love took a shape none of us expected. Months later, we're still figuring it out. Therapy sessions, endless discussions, and new boundaries. Some days are harder than others. But when I look at them, Daniel with his steady presence, Leo with his playful spark, I see two parts of my heart that finally learned how to coexist. And when they both hold me at once, I realize I was never meant to be split in two. I was always meant to be whole.